Okay, so since I was still getting a lot of targets right here where I picked up that piece of china, I decided just, hey, let's just dig this back a little bit and scrape some. And 2 mason jar lids, big old piece of leather. No idea what that is off of. Scraping back, looks like I unearthed a little bottle over here. Alrighty, we are at a completely new site. Based on Russ's research here, we think this place was built in the late 1700s. If it's the site we think it is, it may have been occupied by a Revolutionary War officer. We haven't dug one single hole here yet. It probably was here for about 150 years, 200 years. So there's no telling what kind of trash may be here. Actually, when Russ came and scouted it originally, he didn't even see this rock pile here. This is clearly a chimney stack here. And as you look out through there, there's rock piles all around. So maybe these were servants' quarters, and where he was on up at the top of the hill. Actually, the main house site maybe. So anyway, we're going to hunt here a little bit and see what we can get into, and hopefully we're going to have something good for you. Especially as we watch Russ dig without a shovel. Yeah, way to go, Russ. Hey, work that lesh, right? Alrighty, so there's a lot of iron out here, and so I'm using the T2 Plus. Got the little 5-inch coil here. Dug a lot of shotgun shells and stuff like that, but finally got a first piece of brass out of here. Looks like some kind of tag of some sort. Got a hole in it. Not quite sure what that is. Give me just a second. Let me just brush it here real quick and just see if we can't see what that says on it. So I think it says Singer Manufacturing Company. So my guess is that it's going to be off of an old sewing machine. It's pretty cool. Here's a cool little target in the ground. Looks like it's part of the top of a coin purse. Now what would be nice is to find the rest of that, a nice little coin spill to go with it. That would be cool. All right, Russ, I think Russ got him the part of a little side plate off of a pistol. You got that on you handy?
I do, Greggy boy.
Yeah, I think that's definitely
exactly
a side
with
plate.
those little flare pieces up top.
Right.
Yeah.
Very good.
This is from the other. No, this is from the other day.
When we got rained out, and we were walking along. He said, "I got a signal here, but it's a shotgun shell." And it's not a shotgun shell. It looks like it's a really old buckle down here.
It is.
Oh, I just dropped it. Kind of a spectacle buckle type.
But still.
Yeah, it's got that kind of design to it. But it's old, for sure. All right, let's keep getting it.
That's pretty cool, huh?
So far, we're not producing very much. I think I dug one little piece of brass here just a minute ago. See if I can find it real quick and show it to you. I don't know that it is, well, it's anything. It's kind of it's got a shape to it. It's brass, but I don't think it's going to have anything on it, but it sounded good. Anyway, I'm down below the chimney stand here a little bit. Well, I can, well, let me stop it and turn it around. So, okay, so here I am Oh, and by the way, my card filled up on my regular camera, so I've moved over to the iPhone. So here's the chimney stack here. Again, I didn't have a good target, but saw something that caught my eye in the leaves. I pushed the leaves back a little bit, and it looks like I've got a nice piece of china here. I don't know if it's a bowl or a cup or a mug. Oh. Well, that's pretty cool. Neil G. England. Well, if I don't find anything else today, I'm pretty pleased with that. That is a nice piece of china right there. It'll display well right there on the other side. Cool. Okay, so since I was still getting a lot of targets right here where I picked up that piece of china, I decided just, hey, let's just dig this back a little bit and scrape some. And 2 mason jar lids, big old piece of leather. No idea what that is off of. Scraping back, looks like I unearthed a little bottle over here. Not super old, but it's still a cork top. Little medicine bottle, I guess. So I might scrape around here just a little bit since I'm not, hitting on any targets there. Might be worth a little bit of a hunt here. Cool. Okay, so check it out here. I got another little bottle here. This is kind of cool. Another little cork topper. Very nice. And still some trash coming out, china and glass and stuff. So we're gonna keep scratching around here a little bit. All right, this is pretty cool. Like this is the house site is so much older than what I'm finding right here. But when I wasn't digging targets, and now I'm scratching a little bit out of the ground, it's kind of cool. And I've got another little bottle, little cobalt blue. This one looks like it's a screw top. It's okay. That's a pretty little bottle, though. Let's see what it says there. It's an old Vicks. Old Vicks bottle. That's cool. All right, so this site has become a tough one for us. At first, we thought maybe it was just either one had just been hammered. But one of the things for a site like this that is kind of telltale, if it's been hunted a lot, you're going to see iron and things like that stacked up against trees, piled on the rocks, and you're still going to dig a target here and there, as big as this site is and as old as it is. And one of the things that we kept coming back to is how the machine just doesn't seem to be stable, not operating right. And what I wanted to show you is where we're at. And ground balance in this thing, you can see. Well, it's coming in it. You see I'm bouncing all over the place. I move right over here. I'm sorry you can't see. It's in the 80s, 87, 89. The ground here, turn that off. The ground here seems to be as bad as Culpeper, Virginia. I think we are on a pretty heavy granite deposit here, and it's just like one big hot rock. And Russ is having the same issue. It's just nothing is happening here, and there's no reason why we shouldn't have dug something. We've gotten a couple real shallow targets, but outside,
get a good repeatable signal.
nothing.
It's just the machine's not working well.
Not at all. So I think what's going to happen is we're going to have to come back here perhaps with a PI machine or maybe an older machine. I can remember the guys using some older analog machines in the mineralized ground successfully, but it's going to take something different to cut through this this ground here, because right now we're not hearing it. But yeah, we'll get back at it, and when we do, we'll bring you along with us. Still a great looking chimney though.
Oh yeah.
All right, so we're loading up here, and one thing that we started doing here is, since I've got my little Victure HC 300, is that we start putting it where we can watch the car a little bit. So yeah, can always get some good use out of a camera. So we're not really sure what's up with that site. It dates to the late 1700s and was occupied all the way up through the 1950s. If nothing else, there should have been a lot of trash there. But what me and Russ were talking about as we were in the woods there was that the machines were acting very erratic, very unstable. And one of the things that is highly unusual for up here is that they were, because we were both using T2s, they were ground balancing right around 89, 90, which is really high. Usually we have pretty good ground. There's a lot of granite outcrops up there, and so what we've got to think is that the ground is highly mineralized, and it's like being on top of one big hot rock. And we were just having trouble hearing anything, because as large as the site is and as old as the site is, we really should have been pulling some stuff out of there, even just a couple of targets, and it just wasn't happening. And even good targets that we did dig, they just didn't sound good. Shotgun shells were breaking up. The mason jar lids were just, you didn't hear them, or they were even overloading. It was just an odd site, very weird. So what we probably got to do is go back in there, perhaps with PI machines, or maybe even Russ has got an older analog machine. Take it in there, see if it runs on a different kilohertz or something, to try to break through that mineralization and try to figure out what's going on there. But anyway, that said, I've already cleaned up the little bottles that we had. First, there's that Singer sewing machine label that I found. So that was pretty cool. I thought it was going to be a good day, because that came out of the ground really early, and then really didn't dig much more. But then got into that little trash pit there. It wasn't super old, but heck, I mean, digging some old bottles, those were pretty cool. And really the find of the day for me, because I collect this stuff, was this nice teacup, this transferware teacup, marked. I hadn't even looked it up yet. England mark on the bottom there, so that was pretty cool. So we're going to probably try to get back out there again sometime and see what else we can do. This was actually a combination of 2 hunts, just trying to figure that place out, and we just weren't figuring it out. So we don't know what's up with that site. But anyway, before I sign off here, I just want to remind you that if you are interested in any Saving History merch, like t-shirts or hoodies or long sleeve shirts, you can get them at detectees.com, and I'll put a link in the description below, so go check it out if you're interested. We appreciate all of your support over the past year, and we look forward to bringing you a lot of new stuff in the coming year. For Saving History, I'm SCdigger.